Hey creators, it's Tracy from the Creators Loft. Grab your coffee or your tea and join me here in like 5 minutes. We're going to paint something awesome. See you then. Okay, here we are in the loft. Thanks for joining me. Got my gloves on because we're going to be painting again. Today, we're going to be painting on, it's got a little paint on it, on this here. Let me get that off. Okay. This here. Now, they call this, I got this at the dollar store. They call it a cutting board, but I don't know. It looks like a trivet to me. So, let me get something here to wipe off. Somehow that cup got paint on it, and that's what I want to use for this to rest on. I always like to have my paintings, whatever, my projects, raised up a little bit. I have two projects sitting over there on the cookie sheet that we're usually using, so I'm using my cups, which are from like fruit, as my risers here. Okay, now before we start anything, and I've already done this, you clean off your glass with rubbing alcohol. Now I use 70%. You want to use 50% or higher. And you just want to take your cute cotton ball, Q-tip, whatever you're using, paper towel, and wipe off the residue. It dries fairly quickly. Here, let me take my gloves off because I can't do anything with those gloves on. And I'll show you. Here, let's wipe it off once again. It gets off all the minute residue that you don't see from fingerprints. Now, this was in plastic, and I took the plastic off, so I'm pretty sure that my fingerprints got all over it. Now, I did this technique over the summer on a glass tabletop, a little end table that I had for my deck that I wasn't using because the original tabletop had broken. So I just took a piece of glass I had laying around that was from, I don't even know where, and attached it to the table, and then we used it like that. But this year, or this past summer, it just didn't go out on the deck. We just didn't have room for it. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to paint pour on it. And it now lives in Florida, the table. And I'm sure is used every single day. So I want to do it on this little trivet cutting board. I'm not going to use it as a cutting board because I prefer my cutting boards to be wood and big. But I can use this in the middle of my table to put decorations on. You could use it as a, put your plants on. If you have a flower arrangement you want to put on there, you very well could do that. What I suggest you do after it's painted, after we paint it, I did this with the tabletop. I put several coats of resin on before I sent it off. And the resin then, when it dried, made it so that the client can now put a cup of coffee on there, and if there's a ring from his coffee cup, you just wipe it off. It's got it, and that was I put 3 coats on there. So I'm going to do the same with this, but that's a totally different video. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to use this cup that I used the other day for our Dutch pour. It's got some paint left in it. So I'm going to add some white. And I have my white in this ketchup bottle. I'm trying to make this easy. Because it's much easier to pour into my cup from a ketchup bottle than it is from the can, because I buy it right at the hardware store. I'm going to add some copper. Now this is just acrylic copper from Michael's. Copper I'm totally obsessed with. We're going to put that in. This is called a dirty pour. And the reason it's called a dirty pour, let's use some blue, primary cyan, yeah? It is because when you're pouring it into the cup, the colors get to mix with each other in the cup. Now, there is such a thing, or a technique, I should say. There is a technique. Now I have, this is, I'm going to say pink. See if we got a little pink there. There is a technique called a clean pour. And that would be if we were going to put the colors directly onto our surface one at a time. But I prefer to do the dirty pours because this way you get so many nice colors and patterns. And I have my gold here. This is Artist Loft Pouring Paint Gold. That again is in a ketchup bottle. Because they come in huge bottles and I just didn't want to do that. All right, and we'll add a little bit more white at the end here. Now, you're going to ask me, I'm sure I'm going to get message, how much paint did I use? I didn't measure, friends, and it's probably way too much paint for what we're doing. And we can always stop if we see that. It is. All right, we're going to do something called a tree ring. Now, I know you've seen me do this before. I'm going to move it over this way. But that seems to be my favorite. Now it's coming out a little thick. So, which is okay for this type of, I'm going to stop there. All right. Let it settle a little bit into itself. And then we'll tilt. Now on glass, you don't need to put any paint on your surface to help it move, because see how well it's moving on its own because the glass is slippery. But on a canvas, I would have put some, maybe some white or some black around. To help it move, but it seems to be doing, it's moving wonderfully on its own here. I'm very, very pleased with the way this is coming out. Yes, it does look like it's a little thick, but that is easily fixed. If you find that you have a clump like we do there, the traveling clump, let it go off the edge. That's why I use these disposable trays, guys, because if you get paint on them, they just wash right off, and you can continue to, I just keep continuing to use them. I've got two of them. The one is over there sitting off camera here with my other projects drying that I'm doing, and they'll be dry by the morning. But can you see how beautiful this is coming out? I absolutely love tree ring. I find that as I am learning new techniques, and you can't see this, but I'm going to try to move it here. This seems to be my go-to, especially for glass, because it just comes out so beautiful. And I love adding glitter to my projects also. I'm on a glitter kick. I have purple glitter over there, copper and gold. I'm going to help my edges out. Now we're going to let the clump, let's let the clump fall off. Actually, you know what? Let's bring it down a little bit more. That clump can fall off. There we go, see? I don't know if you saw that, but it did fall off. And if you get paint on the back because you're holding it, friends, you can just, when it's dry, you can just wash that right off. Now I'm going to let this dry. It'll take a few days to dry. Normally. It might take a little less because we're heated here in the loft, so it might take a little bit less. When I did the tabletop, it was outside, so it dried quickly. But that was because it was in the sun. So I'll check it tomorrow, but I'm thinking it's going to need a couple days. All right. And I just want to help out this side here. So I'm going to lay it back down on our holders here, and we're going to help out our edges a little bit. I'm absolutely loving the way this is coming out. Now, I love the way that this the copper kind of made like a stream here. Can you see it? Now, the table seems to be a little bit off kilter here for some reason. So, I'm going to take this and I'm just going to help it out a little bit by taking some of my paint off. And again, this will be sealed with resin. I have resin from another project, so I still have some left. So that way, if it, especially if you have, like here, I have some paint that's higher than the other, it'll give it an even coat because it'll fill in the divots. But I absolutely love, it looks celestial to me. Now I'm going to probably, most likely, because I have purple, gold, and copper, again, add glitter to this, which, why don't we do that right now, friends? I'm on this glitter kick. I can't not have it. In my projects. The leaf came out so nice. Having the, I can't get this glove off. Having the glitter put on it. All right, let's see. I don't know. Now this is extra fine glitter from Walmart, from Creatology. I'm just gonna sprinkle some maybe right here in the stream of copper, as I'm calling it. I did not do this to the tabletop because at the time, oh, maybe I don't remember if I did. I don't think I did. I think I just had the gold in there. But I have put glitter in some of my paintings that I've done previous. Not just the leaf. I have one here that looks like a volcano that has glitter in it. I just absolutely love the way that it brings out the colors when you put the glitter in. Now I'm trying not to put too much because you don't want, you want to give it a little bit of zhuzhing, but not a whole, you don't want to take away from the painting itself. So that's all. I have a tendency to overdo things, to overthink them and then overdo them, and then I'm not happy. But at the moment, I am super happy with this, and I am going to force myself, just helping the edges here, not to do any more to it than absolutely we already did. Absolutely necessary, because I have a tendency to look at it and go, well, I could add this and add that. And no, It's perfect the way that it is. It does. Doesn't it? Guys, come on. It looks like a planet or something to me. Awesome. I'm so super happy with it. So I hope you give this a try. Now, you do not, people think that they need to be an artist to be able to do this stuff. You don't, my friends. You saw how easy it was. I'm using regular house paint. You can use regular house paint, friends, to do this. You have paint in your basement left over from something? Give this a try. Truly. You'll love it. And if you do it and you don't like it and it's still wet, take it over to the sink and wash it off and start again. It's so super easy. You saw how long it took us. It didn't take us any time at all. And if you would like, let me know down in the comments if you would like a video on how to resin and how to mix it and how to get this so that you can protect your projects. I certainly will do a video on that. And I was intimidated at first because I'd never done resin, but now that I've done it several times, I taught my husband how to do it because he wanted it for his own project. I'm like, it's super easy. You're going to love it. And his project came out super awesome. So if you would like a video on how to resin this or let's resin this together, let me know down in the comments. And we certainly can do that. So thank you for joining me today, and I'll catch you next time. This is Tracy. Have a good day.